Hey there, this is Jackie of the Maiden Voyage podcast, and you're listening to episode 9, season 1, the one where we dive into our favorite female-led binge-worthy shows.
Maiden Voyage is a podcast recorded by the women of Impulse Creative.
Audrey, Rachel, Jen,
Danielle,
Courtney,
Jackie.
We're CEOs, salespeople, project managers, writers, and marketers.
We're also wives, rad moms, remote employees all over the country, in-house staff, empowered single ladies, and all-around ass kickers.
There's a lot of challenges we face, overcome, and share
that make our voyage different than those of the men we work with. This is our journey.
Welcome to Maiden Voyage. Today we're talking to all the mermaids about their favorite female-led binge-worthy shows. And being that it is Women's History Month, we thought this would be a really great way to kick it off and just talk about some of the shows we're totally obsessed with that have a really strong female character lead. So Audrey, I know you've recently shared a cool article with us and you had some thoughts you wanted to deliver.
Yeah, as I was putting together my 3 favorite shows, I was like, this reminds me of a blog. These group of women got together and they're revolutionizing Hollywood. They're just trying to be like stronger women, and they all gave some quotes, basically saying like where they are now and where they want to be. One from Tessa Thompson: this year I don't want to play anyone's girlfriend or wife. When I'm not the object of the narrative, I'm the subject of the narrative. I don't want to be boxed into any space at all. I want to feel like I can be expansive and that my resume reflects how multi-faced I am as a human.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Another one by Andrea Riseborough: change the fact that there are 2.24 male characters for every 1 female character represented in film. That ethnic minorities make up almost 40% of the U.S. population, yet they are cast in 17% of lead roles in films in 2013. I really like this one. What does change mean? Never having to hear the words, "she is the first." Nina Shaw. Okay, so I guess I can go into my my favorite shows, and all of my shows have like strong female roles. The first being The Crown, which I like because it's based on like true facts.
Yeah.
And it just like gives me so much courage that like back in the day, like 1940s, she became the Queen of England. Everyone was against her, the church, the monarchy. Her own husband did not support her. He didn't want to bow to her as the Queen of England because he believed as his wife, he shouldn't have to bow to her. I felt like that show, and it only gets better. The first season is a little long.
I was going to say, it's on Amazon Prime.
I watched it on Netflix.
Is it on Netflix? Okay. So I tried to watch the first few episodes. They go on safari, like really early on, right? They went on like a safari. Yeah. Okay. So I saw the first few episodes. It's a little slow, but if you're saying it picks up, I might give it a second chance.
It really does. And I know we're talking about binge-worthy. I could never really watch like more than 2 in a row because it's so much, but it's really good. And it just makes me want to be like a strong woman. Like, another one that's on that same kind of thing, except for it is not on true facts because I've Googled a bunch of it watching it, is Reign. It's about this Queen of Scotland. There's some true things, but like, not really. She goes to France and is engaged to someone who she doesn't really like, and then there's a whole bunch of drama with a like kind of stepbrother thing. We don't need to get into that. But throughout all of the seasons, her most like the biggest priority to her is her country. She will literally die for her country, and she has those same moments like in The Crown where you get goosebumps and you're like, she is bad. I like her. My last one was Younger.
Ugh, love.
I love Younger. And it's so light, and it's like, it has that same feel as like New Girl. It's just like uplifting and you're laughing all the time. But like behind the scenes, it's about mom. She was a stay-at-home mom. She had her degree. I think it was from Princeton. She had like a good degree and she had a good first job, but then she stopped. She was paying for the college and she needed money.
Well, her husband like gambled away all their money.
Yeah. So, anyways, she ends up lying about her age to get a job because she couldn't get anything. It was in publishing at the time. And she started out as a secretary and she worked so hard and worked her way up. I don't want to give away anything, but she just works so hard. And the other main character, who is, what's her name? Hilary Duff?
Yes.
Hilary Duff. Yeah. They're both so just strong women, and they did not settle for being assistants or the women in the office that weren't doing like anything. They ended up getting their own little publishing.
And even in their personal relationships, they're like, they don't take shit from anybody, and like, they don't roll over. They're very impressive female leads.
And they have strong girl code. I love it.
Yeah.
I struggled so hard. It took me like 20 minutes at least to come up with 3 shows with a strong female role. I guess I don't watch a whole lot of Netflix compared to everyone else. But the shows that I do watch, I'm like thinking about it like, wow, all these girls are like super weak. Like I just got done watching You, and I'm like, this girl, like, not to like spoil it, but you should have watched it by now, so I'm gonna spoil it. Like she gets murdered. Like, anyway, so like these were the 3 I was able to come up with. I don't think any of you guys watched Parks and Rec. Am I the only one?
I've seen it. Yeah.
You've seen it, but you didn't get into it. But you should, because it's the best show ever. And Leslie Knope is like the biggest badass ever. She's just like the hardest working person on the show. Like she's super ambitious and driven, and she's a boss. So definitely top favorite. Second, again, these are really terrible, but New Girl, I guess Jess, like
good show.
She is.
I don't know, strong's the right.
She never gives up. She always.
I just think she's like so awkward and like gets herself in all these like weird situations, but she just owns it.
Yeah.
And I feel like she always fights for like what she wants. Like,
yes,
as the principal. Was she vice principal? It's been a while since I've watched
She's
it.
Vice principal, I think.
Vice principal, but she like fights for what she wants, and she's just like so goofy and like owns it. It's like
she's like a hopeless romantic in the best way possible too.
Yeah. And then Insatiable, I chose as the third one. Like that girl's absolutely insane. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of it, but this girl, she was overweight and was bullied and lost a bunch of weight and tried to become a pageant queen, and ends up falling in love with her coach. And then like it just escalates from there. There's like violence involved, and she keeps getting herself in all these like crazy traps, but like somehow she like gets out of it. And then again, I don't want to spoil this. I feel like I'm giving away so much, but she just like, I don't know. She's kind of a badass, but like she's also kind of an idiot. So again, this was like a struggle for me, and that's why it's third on the list. And like it's questionable, but yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Sorry.
Thanks for sharing.
Trying my best.
Jen, do you want to go next?
Sure. So I wanted to start off with the first show called Revenge. I know that Audrey, you said you had watched this too.
Yeah.
It is about different families that live in the Hamptons, and this girl named Emily, her father gets framed for a murder or a crime that he didn't commit, and everyone in the Hamptons and these cliquey communities are all in it. Her father gets arrested, and she gets sent to some sort of like disciplinary school, and when she gets out, she is determined to get revenge on these people who betrayed her family. And it is just about her going in and, I don't want to say conniving, but definitely she figures out the weaknesses of these people in the Hamptons and poses as this luxury, mysterious stranger with a different name to individually get back at all the people who have done her wrong.
It's like a 6-season plot against these people. Like it is so thought out. At the end of it, you're like, whoa.
Right. And she is just elegant and badass and so brutally intelligent and out connives people in the most crafty ways. And it is such a binge-worthy show. I remember when I would watch it, I would sit there, and I usually don't do this. I'd watch like 5 episodes in a row. Could not get enough. And I think that's available on Netflix if anyone's interested. Another show that's a little bit more popular that I chose was The 100. It is kind of like this utopian, dystopian kind of show where Earth is deemed uninhabitable. So people are living in space right now on different aircrafts. And they come to a point where they realize that they don't have enough oxygen and resources to survive anymore up there. So they're either forced to send people into space to die to get more people off the ship so that people can continue breathing, or they decide to send 100 children down to Earth to see if it's inhabitable. And in the show itself, one of the lead characters is named Clark, and she becomes the leader in and of itself of the force of the children who remain down there. And
so wait, the adults send the children back to Earth.
Yeah.
Maybe
And not just the children, it's like the juvie kids.
Yes, I should have clarified. So
The
they
rejects.
they got in trouble for one thing or another, and were kind of being like disciplined. So that's why they sent these like juvenile, like Rachel said, delinquents down to Earth.
Okay.
It's a good show. It sounds more techie than it actually is, but there is a lot of violence.
I thought this show was, I thought there was another 100 where they had like a plane crash. I got so confused.
That's the same show. It's not really plain.
Well, they took the ship down. Is that what you mean? Like they?
No, isn't there? I'm sorry, I'm messing this up. Isn't there like a 400 or something?
I don't know.
Keep going. I'm not sure.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about, but I can't recall what that's called too. Yeah. But anyway, Clark just steps up, and there, as the show plotline gets more involved, I really admire her leadership roles and the dichotomy that you actually find out throughout the show that she's bisexual, and the romances become very complicated and intertwined. And I just love the fact that she powers through it all like a champ.
Where's that? Where can you watch that?
I believe this one is also on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's on the CW also.
I love that they're tackling different sexual representations as a lead character role. That's amazing.
Yes, I love it.
Go CW.
She's like smart and kind and just total strong, and she's just really cool. She's admirable. There's a couple of strong female leads in that show too.
There is, actually.
I love it.
Octavia is one of my favorite as well. I just started watching it. And then the last show was a little bit of a newer show. This one's also on Netflix. It's called Girlboss. It was based off of a book. So it's this young female who is kind of a little bit of a pessimist named Sophia. She's rebellious, and she decides that she doesn't have to work anymore because she keeps getting these jobs that she hates by starting her own online eBay store selling vintage clothing.
Is this the creator of Nasty Gal?
Yes.
Okay, I've heard about this. Yeah.
Yeah. So her company, her like eBay company is called Nasty Gal. So she goes into these vintage shops, finds these clothes that are on sale for $5, takes really sexy pictures of herself wearing them, and then sells the item for $300 on eBay.
You go, girl.
Right. And the whole show is about her creating this rock star of like an empire to say like, I don't need to work somewhere. I can do this myself. And it outlines all her struggles of becoming her own entrepreneur and business owner. And I also like it because she's just a strong female who doesn't take shit in the show. Like she's sassy, and like her one boyfriend cheats on her in the show, and she's like, bye boy. And like doesn't get intertwined in all the bullshit of taking him back. And I just love that about her and her crass attitude.
Awesome. I love it. Rachel, do you want to go?
Sure. I'm pretty sure that all of us have seen Game of Thrones.
No, I think it's just me and you.
You're kidding me.
No.
Oh
Sorry.
my
I couldn't.
goodness.
I tried.
Our subscribers, you get onto these people for not watching it because it is possibly the best show of all time. You just have to get through the first season because it's a little raunchy, but
I can't buy into that. Like, just watch the first 12 episodes and then you're going to love it.
I don't have
it's in there.
the
I
patience
tried. I really did.
or the attention span.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's I don't even know when it's set because it's, make believe, but it's got dragons, it's got warriors. It's very cool. It's got a lot of strong characters, Sansa Stark, Arya Stark, Cersei Lannister. She's crazy and mean, but she's total badass. And then of course, Daenerys Targaryen, the mother of dragons. She is the most epic female lead of all TV shows ever made.
I don't know how you remember all those long names. It's too many syllables for me.
I might have
Her
looked
last name is
prior,
Stern.
but
Yeah. Oh, whatever.
yeah.
Intense first name.
Yeah, she's definitely the coolest character ever made. She's got the coolest outfits, the coolest hair. She ends up taking over all of the empires. Hopefully, in the next season, she'll take over the final one. But yeah,
She is
she's
super
badass.
awesome.
Yeah, you guys have to see that just to watch her. She's overcome a lot, and being raped and by her husband, and she just.
I saw that episode, and that's early on.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Saw that one.
Yep. And then yeah, she can walk through fire. I mean,
she's the really light blonde hair, right?
Yeah, it's basically yeah.
They made it very clear, even in the first 3 episodes, that she was a force to be reckoned with.
She definitely is. She's awesome. For my second show, I was gonna do Jessica Jones, but I changed that because she's kind of like a sourpuss, and she's not really admirable. So I went with The Bold Type, which is on Freeform. And it basically has 3 best friends, and it's kind of like Sex in the City. And it goes through all the struggles that they face in the workplace, and how hardworking pays off, and you get promoted, you get new jobs. And it's empowering in its own right. And
I love Freeform.
yeah,
it used to be ABC Family.
Yeah.
It also, showcases feminism and ethnicity and different sexualities in these 3 females. So
is the girl from Blackish in it?
I haven't seen Blackish, but
okay.
Yeah, it's if you like Sex in the City, you'll like this one. It's fun, it's flirty, it's sex, and they all basically write articles for a magazine, and it's based on the chief editor of Cosmopolitan. Like, she's the one who created the idea. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's on the girly side of things. It's fun. For my third show, I decided to do Westworld for all the nerds out there. I don't know if anyone has seen Westworld.
So hurts my brain.
I have.
It basically, it's I don't even know how to explain it. I don't even know how to explain it. It's a make-believe world, and you go into this world where robots are set in Western times or Asian settings.
It's like they make it seem like you're like going to Disney World.
Right. And like, you go as a character, and you can interact with all these robots in the Wild West or wherever you decide you want to go. And each robot just resets on a loop every single day. So you can go back to do the same scene if you want. And you can do whatever you want to these robots, like rape, kill, just talk to them, ask them to play music. It's very confusing. But one of the robot characters, actually 2 of the female robot characters, end up being the main leads in the entire show. And they end up realizing that they're in a loop and resetting every day, and they learn and they change their outcome, and they end up like taking over the entire park. And
that's cool.
I'm not going to spoil the rest, but it's really, really challenging to watch. It makes your brain hurt, but it's a good show.
Awesome.
Go to yours.
Okay.
She's like a gunslinger at the end.
That one's like a little out there, but robots are hot right now.
But you don't know they're robots.
So
I mean, they all look like humans. Yeah. You can't even tell.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'll wrap it up here. I chose my 3 favorite binge-worthy female-led shows. The first one is Sex in the City. We all know what that's about, but in case you don't, it is 4 best friend females living in big bad New York City and owning their shit from top to bottom, whether it's their career, their sex life, their clothes. Like, it has everything you could need for girl empowerment. But I think what makes me love this show the most is what it did to me and my girlfriends as we were watching it week by week when it was released on HBO. we would go over to one of my best friend's house and have like a viewing party. And like way before The Bachelorette made this a thing, we were doing this for Sex in the City. Way before we could drink, and really just learning that you can lean into any aspect of your life and just be bold and proud and fierce for no reason. So I'm pretty sure that that show shaped a lot of personalities in like the 90s to lead us to being the women we are today. So I love Sex in the City, and I will always watch it when it is on, even though some of them are not available in HD.
So which character are you?
Wow, that's so interesting because I'd like to think that I am a Miranda, but I'm probably a mix, right? I think I can be very powerful in work, but not as much. Like I'm more of a Charlotte in my personal life, probably. And I wish I looked like Jessica Parker every day. If I could wear a tutu and heels and a belt and a blue hat and walk the streets, I would.
Oh, I
Could,
know.
but I mean, well, people probably stare at her too. So
Right. So I feel like, aren't we all a little bit of each of them? I'd like to think. My next show would be Scandal, which like I was obsessed with. My whole house was obsessed with. My husband and I would watch this without fail every week, like jaw dropped. I think that Kerry Washington is in real life as well as professionally just a fierce and a force to be reckoned with. So in case you don't know, Scandal is about this law firm that Kerry Washington runs, and she has some interminglings in the political world, and the White House is involved, and very sexy and informal and formal aspects. She's just pretty much, her firm is defending people who need help and who are in really sticky situations, and they do a lot of pro bono work. They defend a lot of politicians. They help like prisoners who shouldn't be imprisoned or imprisoned. And there's a lot of close ties. Like at one point she works in the White House. At one point she's like held captive, and it's just really freaking cool. And I like that she is a strong female character in the face of being from a really fucked up personal life. Like her mom and her dad are some of the craziest characters I've ever seen on TV. And over all of that, she still, as she would say, wears the white hat. She comes out on top. She does things for the right reasons, and she employs everyone around her to do things for the right reasons. And I just love that.
Yeah.
And then a new show that just started on Netflix that I like love, but am like not 100% sold on yet, but I'll still share it. It's called Working Moms. I will say that I only started watching this last week. I've seen 4 or 5 episodes, and at the 19-minute mark in episode 1, I was bawling like a baby. It's real. It's real. And I started crying because she is a new mom. She went back to work, which I am as well, I guess. I mean, my kid's almost 27 months old, almost 2.5, but I'm still, I guess, a new mom. And I have a child at daycare. Her child is being cared for by another woman. And so 19 minutes into episode 1, she gets a video of her kid saying its first word. And like, you'll never get that moment back. So she missed her kid saying her first word because she was working. And so these are just like things that working moms deal with. And the show is real and raw. It's a Canadian show. And I read a little bit about that. It started because this woman had a kid, and there's like 3 or 4 main characters, all women. They are all like a part of her personality and her behavior. It really talks about postpartum depression, like real postpartum depression, and what kind of like working moms deal with every day. It's a little over the top at times, of course. Like, and in the beginning, they like are in this like a mom group, and they're all sharing, and like the moms are bickering, and there's like cliques, and I mean, it's like mom life. It's really funny. It's very smart, but it's very raw. I warn you, if you are a new mother and you are working, either grab a box of tissues or maybe wait until you're a few more months away from being a new mom, because it is real and you will cry, but you'll also laugh. So I highly recommend it.
At the same time, I mean, some new moms might need to know that they're not alone.
I love that they tackle postpartum depression in a really real way. Like the woman who's suffering from it is like deep in the throes of it. And like one of the other leads is a psychiatrist and also a new mom who gets pregnant and she has like a 10-month-old. And like, I know people who have been there too, right? So she's experienced like her own nonsense, but still talking and being a psychologist for this other mom who's like literally on the verge of a psychotic break. Like she fell asleep in the bathtub holding her baby. Nice. And thank God somebody walked in right away, and like her partner, she's a lesbian, her partner walks in right away. So again, it's tackling like sexuality and like, it's just really cool. But yes, it's a great avenue to go down to know you're not alone. And also, you know, a little comedy. Like Courtney, you'll be proud, like they ball out on burritos hard. Like they have like a mom lunch date and they're like shoving burritos. So real
like my kind of moms.
Right? So check it out. We were really excited to share with you some other shows that we love, maybe not with female leads. So what we're going to be doing, so go to our Facebook page and check it out, is every week for the next few weeks, we're going to be sharing what our favorite binge-worthy shows are, just like whatever it might be, dudes, sports, chicks, whatever. We're going to list out each of our mermaids' favorite binge-worthy shows in case you need something to get you through the rest of this cold winter. Spring is just around the corner, and it is it's Women's History Month, so take the time to like dig into whether it's you, your friends, your family, and you know, really be the strong woman and embody all of those qualities you'd like to see. And I'd like to encourage all of you out there to reach back and lift each other up instead of push each other down, because that's what it's about, to help your neighbor, help your sister, and you know, we can tackle all these things together. So in true mermaid fashion, we wanted to give a hot sauce packet out, and again, being Women's History Month, we are giving a shout out to
Iceland.
Woo! Iceland, for making it illegal to pay women less than men. Iceland, you freaking rock. Way to go. It's an amazing leap forward for women all over the world, and we hope that other countries will do the same. Tune in next week when we interview Jennifer Michael. She's a friend of the show and an author who writes in the romance space. We are so excited to talk with her about some of the books she's reading. I'm reading one right now and cannot wait to dive into it with her. Until then, stay your course, and remember, this is your voyage. Make it amazing.
Sadly, that'll do it for this week's episode of Maiden Voyage. We'd like to thank you, our amazing listeners, because let's face it, lady life is hard. It's incredible how much we accomplish every day, and we all deserve awards just for existing. If you're watching the show, make sure that you subscribe, click on that thing for instant notifications, speak your mind in the comments, and share us with your fellow Voyagers.